Lines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Hitano program, proud supporters of the Give Us a Moment Island Pride Beautification event. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam, McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Primetime, contact tracing continues after it's been revealed that deployed service members that tested positive had visited various establishments on island. Plus, a press conference is held this morning for the Give Us a Moment Island Pride Beautification event. And in a surprise announcement, Guam International Airport Authority Executive Manager Tom Atta has resigned.
Hafa and good evening. I'm Adriana Cotero. The Guam Police Department has launched a death investigation following a shooting that occurred this afternoon in central Guam.
Yellow tape cordoned off this area in Agania Heights, police spokesperson Paul Tapal.
Shortly before 2:30 p.m., our officers from the Central Precinct Command received a call of a possible shooting within the Tuhan area. A check was made, and in which they responded to a home. They made a check of a home, and at that time they discovered a lifeless male. We're estimating at this time to be between his late 30s or early 40s.
Detectives from the Criminal Investigation Division were activated along with GPD, Forensic Science Division, and crime scene investigators. Tapal says a person of interest is currently being questioned.
We have him. We're not going to disclose any other information other than he's right now with our detectives at CID being interviewed relative to this investigation.
Currently, GPD can only classify the case as a death investigation and cannot officially determine whether foul play was involved.
With these cases, the determining factor too with the manner and the causation of death will be decided by a pathologist once an autopsy has been performed.
The plan to reopen the tourism industry by the first week of July is still on. To prepare for the potential arrivals, the Island Beautification Task Force and the Visitors Bureau are sponsoring a major cleanup event on Saturday. IBTF Chairman Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and GVB Chair Sunny Atta are asking for your help.
You can expect to see quite a large number of people that love our island, some young people that are committed to our ecology, a lot of business people that want to identify areas to invest in resources, invest in labor, and invest in one of the most beautiful places in the world, our own island of Guam.
Pre-COVID, we had record arrivals, we had excellent responses, feedback from our visitors, and we want to continue that, but even better. And this is a chance for companies and individuals to get out and help become part of this revival, this rebuilding of Guam tourism.
A big turnout is expected and an extensive number of sites has been identified. But once cleaned up, can it be sustained? Along with a change in attitude, says Tenorio, effective enforcement is needed.
We actually have a plan that's being looked at between the law enforcement side and EPA, and then bringing in the mayors to really have additional eyes and have a very coordinated response.
And ahead of the event, homeless people are being moved from Tumon and other tourist stops such as the Paseo. But Tenorio says they're finalizing a plan to help them.
In the next couple of days, the governor will be announcing a partnership that we have with the Mayor's Council to prioritize and assign the government with an affirmative decision to provide shelter.
The cleanup is scheduled for 8 a.m. Saturday, June 27. Some 700 people have already signed up, but they're looking for more. Check the GVB website to volunteer your time or to provide supplies. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Airport Executive Manager Tom Atta has resigned. The surprise announcement came last night with the governor stating, quote, "It's with a heavy heart that Josh and I acknowledge the resignation. Tom is a dear friend and his work to make life better for our people is greatly appreciated," unquote. And Lieutenant Governor Tenorio expressed similar sentiments.
I do want to recognize him not only for his work at the airport, but for decades and decades of service to the people of Guam. And he definitely will be missed.
Their interpretation.
The administration said Ada resigned to spend more time with his family, and Tenorio said he had nothing more to elaborate on. The resignation comes just as the visitor industry is set to reopen.
The acting executive manager is John Kinata, who has been involved in the entire COVID operation. So I'm very confident that the airport and its leadership is definitely prepared.
Kenyatta is the deputy executive manager. Ada's resignation was effective yesterday. He was not available at the airport, and a spokesperson said to reach out to him directly for comment. More now on the contact tracing investigation into a unit deployed to Anderson Air Force Base that has become a cluster of activity for COVID-19. Sabrina Salas-Montanani has the latest on Public Health's probe.
Public Health's contact tracing team confirms it has reached out to at least 14 different establishments that deployed service members may have visited when violating their restriction of movement orders. A total of 35 deployed Air Force service members tested positive for COVID-19. They were quarantined at the Reef Hotel in Tumon. Annette Uggan is Public Health's contact tracing supervisor.
And again, some of them were they picked up the food and left. Then there's others where we were reported they reported a location. We need a date, because again, by going in and saying, okay, you were possibly exposed, there are the owners and managers who want to know what date and time. And again, that goes back to also our general public. If we just say, oh, this restaurant or this establishment was where one or some of these airmen went to while violating the restriction of movement orders, people are going to start, oh my God, I was there on this day, but not realizing it's outside of the possible infectious period. So that's why too we need to make sure we have all the information complete as possible.
The military has only divulged that the deployed service members arrived on May 25th. The first service member tested positive for the coronavirus on June 12th. All service members have since been moved to the Jigo Air Base. For operational security reasons, the Air Force will not say where the unit is deployed from and how many service members total. However, during a press conference on Monday, the Air Force did disclose the entire unit was tested and 35 tested positive to date. We asked Uggan then how many tested negative.
And that's 92 of the unit that's deployed here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's 92 plus 35. That would be, we're looking at 127 members of this deployed unit.
Yes.
Uggan stresses that does not mean all 127 violated the restriction of movement order. The Air Force is conducting an investigation, and if it's determined orders were not adhered to, the service members will be held accountable for their actions under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. As for Reef Hotel employees, Public Health identified 74 high-risk contacts. All were tested on Monday. According to the agency's situation report, one of those employees tested positive, which means Public Health will now have to identify their close contacts and where the individual may have visited. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Montanani.
Aside from the Reef Hotel employee that tested positive, there were 2 additional unrelated positive cases. One was identified while staying at the government quarantine facility with recent travel to the Philippines. The other, which was just announced this afternoon, had no contact to a confirmed case. Expanded testing continued today in Barragata, then tomorrow, Wednesday at the Agana Heights Mayor's office, and Thursday in Zonia at the parking lot between St. Francis Church and school. Again, testing is from 9 a.m. to noon. It is free, and you do not need to have symptoms to get tested. Just bring an ID. There is 1 week left to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program, and $128 billion is still available. Guam SBA branch manager Ken Lujan is encouraging local businesses who haven't signed up yet to get their applications in.
There are several mom-and-pop operators out there that haven't really embraced the fact that the opportunities are out there. Probably they had some cash reserves that are now deplenished to the point where now they're seeking assistance. So here's the opportunity to do so, and I highly recommend that they go and go to one of the lending partners that we have and submit their applications and get the financing that they need.
Applications must be approved by June 30th. The PPP provides loans to businesses impacted by COVID, which can be converted to grants if they meet certain employee retention conditions. Meanwhile, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program runs until December 20th. It provides low-interest, long-term loans for up to 30 years. The latest SBA report shows 2,036 Guam companies received PPP assistance of $194.1 million, and 645 businesses received EIDL program assistance worth more than $40 million. The Guam Department of Education's District School Readiness Task Force has 3 proposed models for the instruction and attendance for next school year. The first model is 100% online learning at home. The second is home learning with hard copy curriculum for students who want to do 100% distance learning but do not have the resources. And lastly, the third model is a traditional face-to-face classroom instruction with the addition of an at-home learning following the ABC and repeat schedule. All 3 models will be offered, allowing parents to select which model their child is to participate, explains GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez.
What we're going to need to do, though, is get them to register that preference so we can start to reorganize the schedules around those preferences. So we want to know 2 things. One is, what is the appetite for parents to send their kids back to school physically, given that we're still under this COVID-19 situation, and 2, for those who are at home, even though we have sample surveys, we really want 100% understanding of who has access to the internet, who has access to equipment, laptops, tablets, so that we can work with our federal funds to fill the gaps for those who don't, so that eventually, if we have to continue to do distance learning over the long term, we have everything in place.
Fernandez says registration is open and ongoing at individual school sites. These proposals are subject to change as they will be the topic at hand at the island-wide parent-teacher organization meeting on Wednesday, June 24th at 3 p.m. The meeting will be live-streamed on GDOE's Facebook page. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
We are open to serve you at Cars Plus Guam. Need a quick service for your vehicle? Visit our express lane at Cars Plus. Done fast, done right. No appointment needed. Our service team is dedicated to helping you get your vehicle in and out of the shop and back on the road quickly and securely. Simply drop off your vehicle at our express lane driveway, and one of our service advisors will take care of it. Need a ride? Not to worry. We have a shuttle vehicle ready to drop you back home and pick you up when your vehicle is ready. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit us today. We are open to serve you.
While we've all been through a lot over the years, typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19, we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
Calvo's Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Today, I'm Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, and I'm proud to be co-hosting the Guam Island Pride Beautification event with the Island-wide Beautification Task Force and the Guam Visitors Bureau. I'm hoping that we can count on every resident and business to join us on Saturday, June 27th, as we clean up our streets, parks, and villages and spruce up our homes and businesses. It's time to get up and move to improve our island for each other. As Guam prepares for the reopening of our tourism economy, let's come together to ensure its success. Go to GuamVisitorsBureau.com to learn how you can participate.
The only way to beat a box of cheesy, crunchy, fully loaded nachos is more nachos. It's Taco Bell's Nachos Cravings Pack. Order ahead and pick up yours at our contactless drive-thru.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. The fate of Brandon Acosta's case is back in the hands of the jury. A status hearing was held Monday afternoon in Judge Vern Perez's courtroom on Acosta's motion for acquittal to dismiss all charges. Acosta faces 12 counts of various charges, including aggravated murder and criminal sexual conduct for the 2018 death of 15-year-old Tamika Nauta. Defense counsel William Pohl argues there was insufficient evidence to convict his client beyond a reasonable doubt. On the other side, Assistant Attorney General Leonardo Rapadas argues that the case has already been submitted to the jury. Ultimately, the court sided with the government, and the motion is to go before the jury. A return was scheduled for Tuesday, June 30th at 9 a.m. to include the jury at the hearing. You are all seasoned attorneys. I expect you to all be civil. Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan had to interject various times during attorneys' arguments in Gilberto and Mona Lisa Custerbuck's motion hearing this afternoon. The couple is accused for sexually assaulting a female minor known to them. Gilberto faces second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony, and Mona Lisa faces child abuse as a misdemeanor charge. The court heard arguments on Mona Lisa's motions to sever and dismiss. The court allowed for the cases to be severed. However, on the motion to dismiss, the court heard lengthy, heated arguments from defense counsels Curtis Vandeveld, Jeffrey Moots, and Assistant Attorney General Christine Tenorio. Leading the arguments on behalf of Mona Lisa was Vandeveld, stating there is no evidence or facts and insufficient probable cause to charge his client with child abuse based on the magistrate's complaint and grand jury indictment. According to court documents, the victim told Mona Lisa about the incidents and told her not to tell anyone, and Vandeveld says the government cannot just assume there was injury without factual support. The court is taking the matter under advisement and plans to issue a written decision by July 23rd. In district court, Jerry Thomas Guerrero II's case may not go to trial until September. Guerrero was arrested for production of child pornography with a 14-year-old. Defense counsel Jay Arreola requested for a continuance in order to receive evidence from the expert located in Arizona. It was stated in court that the facility in Arizona is still under shutdown due to COVID-19. FBI Special Agent Kip told the court he was in contact with the expert yesterday, and they plan to schedule dates for the end of this month to review the evidence. The court set a status hearing for 2 weeks from now for an update on the reopening in order to further determine trial setting dates. In regional news, the CNMI House Special Committee on Federal Assistance in Disaster-Related Funding is looking into hundreds of documents on spending during the COVID-19 emergency signed off by the Torres administration. Our Tomas Manglotnia reports from Saipan.
Hundreds of documents now in the hands of the House Special Committee on Federal Assistance and Disaster-Related Funding. At an informal meeting this afternoon, members of the legislature are left with more questions than answers. Chair Ralph Yumel.
I leave it to the members to go over this. I'm turning it over to the committee now for its review.
That review is of hundreds of documents, including overtime requests, payroll, and contracts accumulated under the COVID-19 emergency. Representative Tina Sablon says things aren't matching up.
When we call in administration officials in good faith, when we are just trying to afford some transparency and accountability to these funds, and we're not getting straight answers, I think that's a huge red flag.
The committee plans to reconvene in the next week with a list of department heads they'd like to speak with. They plan to issue a final report with their findings in July. As the local budget is outlined, Speaker B.J. Attal expressed his concern for furloughed workers' roles, which might have been filled after individuals were asked to leave. Documents sent to KUAM indicate that close to 500 government employees were furloughed.
It's really bad. It's like saying that they're not worth the position they were furloughed for, but yet hiring somebody else into those positions that were furloughed in a different department.
Tomas Maglotnia for KUAM News on Saipan.
In this week's Health Check report, as much of the country reopens, gyms and fitness centers are adopting unprecedented safety measures to welcome members back. But many people are still not comfortable with the potential risk. Here's more.
Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
As temperatures rise, you might start to see more crowds in parks. Jam-packed with people cycling, people running. And while some fitness centers have been given the green light to reopen, the safety measures being implemented may not be enough to entice people still worried about infection.
People might not feel as confident going to a gym in a shared space, whereas they can still confidently crush their workouts at home in the confines of their own living room or kitchen or wherever it is. 30 seconds count.
Like many of us,
3, 2 and 1.
Nike master trainer Kirsty Godso has been getting her reps in at home.
You don't need any equipment.
I recently joined her for an at-home training session.
Drop down, lift to halfway, drop back down, push all the way up. You can still get a great sweat, and I think it's an important time for us to just adapt to the situation that we're in.
Turns out, Americans are adapting to this new normal.
I can do it, Mom! Do it!
Flocking to online videos and streaming apps to get their daily sweat.
And we're seeing 400 to 500% growth in our usage.
Mark Watterson is the president of iFit, an interactive fitness technology developed for Nordic Track, Proform, and Free Motion.
They want this unbelievable immersive and interactive experience that is personalized to the user, that is also progressive to the user.
Many local gyms are now live streaming fitness classes.
The broomstick, backpacks, water bottles.
And if you are looking for actual home equipment, well, you may be out of luck. This warehouse in Massachusetts can't keep up with the demand.
We've actually run out of spin bikes.
2, almost there.
Which brings us back to my 10-minute workout with Kirsty Godso, without any equipment.
3, 2, and 1. Push all the way out of there.
Mamma mia.
Dude, I'm giving you a high five. You crushed that.
Vladimir Dutip, CBS News, New York.
3, 2.
Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Coming up on Primetime, we find out how one island daycare paid tribute to dads for Father's Day.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
More freedom. To learn more. To create more. To connect more. Mix and match Data Pass. Take your data further.
With Grand Marnier, you'll dare to put a twist on the traditional. That will lead you to somewhere unexpected. Somewhere you can create something better than good. Here, you'll create something grand. Grand Marnier, a visionary blend of fine cognac and bitter orange liqueur. Live grand.
The only way to beat a box of cheesy, crunchy, fully loaded nachos is more nachos. It's Taco Bell's Nachos Cravings Pack. Order ahead and pick up yours at our contactless drive-thru.
We've asked the world to give us a moment to collect ourselves and heal. Well, the time has come to pick ourselves up and thrive again. Let's take one last moment as an island community to clean up and beautify our home for ourselves and before we welcome visitors to our shores. Our island needs so much care, and it's amazing what we can do when we work together. Join us on June 27th for the Guam Island Pride Beautification event. It'll be a Guam moment we can all be proud of. Visit GuamVisitorsBureau.com for details or to volunteer.
Half a day. The Census of Guam effort has resumed, so let's all take the time to respond. We count on federal funds in times of need and so much more. Please do your part so we can continue to receive this help. Call the number on your notice of visit to schedule an interview on the phone, in person, at home, or at your village census center. We only get this chance every 10 years, so let's come together and shape our future.
Welcome back. This morning on Containing COVID, Bree and Chris found out what one daycare did for on Father's Day.
As we always do every day, we try and recognize someone in the community who's doing good works. We call it our Good Note segment, and sometimes we get people who do so many good works that they're featured more than once. Like our friends at Kodu Cares. I mean,
yeah,
that have been like 3 times. It's
even
great.
PPE
PPE for Guam. That's right. There's so many, and so we want to bring Lonnie Girl from the Giving Tree on to talk about. You guys did this cool thing. It was like a Father's Day thing, and I saw it on social media. You guys are really busy on the social media. Lonnie, good morning. So we're gonna play the vids, but just tell us what was the from start to finish, the thinking behind this. What went into it, and the reaction that you got.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Okay. So thank you for having me. What we did for Father's Day is we had a Father's Day event. It was called Digging with Daddy. And we actually used that event to kick off our community garden curriculum. And what we had done is we had reached out to the mayors of, we have 3 centers. So we have one in Jigo, Dadido, and Tumon. And we've reached out to Tumaning Mayor, Jigo Mayor, and Dadido Mayor and asked if there was a place in the community, in the village, where we could create a community garden for the kids in the village, not just from the Giving Tree, but just the kids in the village to come out and, bond over some dirt and seeds and, just be out there with their families any day of the week to kind of plant and just learn more about growing their own food and agriculture. And we had a good response. We have, the support from Mayor Rudy in Jigo, and also from Tumaning Mayor Louise. They gave us a spot, and so with Digging It with Daddy. Hello?
Over here.
Okay, with Digging with Daddy, our first spot that we did was the one at the Jigo Senior Center, and so it was nice. We set up some beds, some garden beds. We had some seeds, all the materials that we needed, and we had some parents come out, some dads come out and plant some seeds to do the groundbreaking on this curriculum.
Ruby Tuesday Guam is still preparing the dishes you love for either curbside carryout or delivery. Call them at 647-7828 or 647-7829 for curbside carryout service with a smile. For delivery, download the free Grab and Grub app and follow the instructions to get Ruby Tuesdays delivered to your door. Stay safe and healthy, Guam.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
What does a brilliant cut mean to me?
It means consistent quality, right across the age expressions. We never compromise on quality and flavour.
It's also the very particular cut of spirit we take to fill our barrels. Tasting it today is just as exciting as the first time I tasted it. That is the brilliant cut.
Before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
June 23rd is a great day to have a birthday, so if you are one of the following 6 Guamanians, happy birthday! And we say those particular words to Ian Curry, who turns 60 today. Happy birthday, Captain! May God continue to bless you. Thank you for your heart and wisdom. There's never been a greater birthday shout-out. Well done. Kainoa Cruz, happy birthday to you, and your family says we love you. That's equally cool. Happy birthday number 8 to Jean Anikaya. May you be blessed with many more birthdays, say Mommy, Daddy, and Jeremiah. Zedekiah Royce Pablo celebrates birthday number 6 today, Big 6. Happy birthday to you, Zedekiah, from all of us at KUAM. Shane Anthony Tobes turned 12 today, and your family is sending all of their sincere love and blessings. And Lawrence Michael Lazamas, happy birthday blessings to you. Love your familia. Great day to have a birthday. Great group of birthday celebrants. And it's just a great day. You guys are great. You're all great.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. That's going to do it for us here on Prime Time. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
Lieutenant Governor Guam, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. Good morning, LT.
Hi, good morning.